All right, traders, people, YouTubers, welcome to another live broadcast. I know there's a little bit of delay on YouTube, so I'll try to take that into account. But thank you guys for joining me today. It's been a great day so far. Finally, the kids slept through the night, so I got actually a full night of sleep. Woke up, got to spend 3 hours with a great community of traders this morning in my live room. Just went out and smashed a really good bike ride, did about 16 miles, 17 miles on the bike. Now I get to hang out with you guys and discuss a pretty decent looking article. And then of course, for you sports freaks, sports nerds like me, a little bit later on, we have first leg of the Champions League. We have Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. And should be a good match. So thank you guys for joining me. If you guys are new, my name is Akil Stokes. I am a professional trader. I am a trading coach over at tradeempowered.com. I am a real estate investor as well. And this is something that really I started to enjoy doing over the past couple of years is not just talk about trading and how I can help people become better traders, but really talk about entrepreneurship and success and motivation in general. You guys have been getting a blast out of it. The reactions have been fantastic. So I like doing it. You guys like hearing it. So we'll keep it going as long as I can. We got traders already asking about, hey, Akil, Fibonacci videos. We're not here to talk. This isn't a trading hangout, guys. We're here to talk about this article. We're not here to do a Q&A about trading strategies and whatnot. If you want to do that, you can come into our live room or join one of our training courses and do that. But today, the article I want to talk about is called 5 Questions Every Entrepreneur Should Ask About Success. And it's written by Adam Toghraie. And he starts off by saying, success is something we're all striving for at the basic human level. We need to be safe. We need to be fed, which is ultimately a huge driving factor in our desire for money, as it provides a level of both of those needs. We also need to love and accomplishment or acceptance, which can also be influenced in part by money, talking about the effect that money has. And for someone that really enjoys money, I can agree that, whoever says money doesn't buy happiness or money can't buy happiness, they probably don't have money. Because I've been in situations where I did not have money. I've been in situations where I do have money. And I can tell you from personal experience, I am a lot more happier with money than without money. Money provides a certain sense of freedom. And it's not saying money is everything, right? But money gives you flexibility. If you are someone, me and the wife love to donate to charity. That's something that is a big part of our mission. And it upsets us when we don't have money to donate to charity. Having sums of money that you can then help other people's with, well, that makes me happy. So that's a good example of how money can indeed buy happiness. But the article talks about, when you talk about being successful, you really need to ask yourself what success means beyond just making a lot of money. A lot of people will define success as making this amount of money, making this amount per year. And the article brings up a good point. What does success really mean for you beyond money? I forgot where I read it at, but there was an interesting article. I think it's kind of common knowledge out there. I think might be in Tony Robbins, who talks about after you pass the point of making about $75,000 per year, money stops having the same day-to-day effect on your happiness. So below 75,000, whenever you make more money, you can see the instant results in your day-to-day happiness. You can take vacation time. You can do this. You can buy this. You can pay off bills, get rid of the old clunker car and get a new car. You can do all those type of day-to-day activities, and it makes you more happy the more money you have. But once you get over $75,000 a year, that's probably the point where all of your day-to-day needs are taken care of. And again, not that money can't make you more happy, but it doesn't have the same effect. So when you do something, and most entrepreneurs are like this, they don't see success as simply making more money. Success has to be bigger than that. And typically making more money becomes less about the actual, monetary, the actual capital that you have, and more so the game of, did I beat my score from last year? And that's very interesting. And he says, the first question he asks is, how much money does success mean? It says, of course you want to make more money. We all do. That's part of the joy of entrepreneurship. No one would fault you for wanting to define a component of your success with money. But what does that mean for you? Is it okay? It's okay to ask this question annually. Of success can change, but never sacrifice the other components of your vision at the altar for profits alone. And that means asking yourself the question is money everything? Am I sacrificing other joys or other missions in a blind chase for the money? Because I'll tell you what, if you're blindly chasing the money, eventually you're going to go off path. Eventually you're going to, say money is the root of all evil. Eventually you're going to do stuff that goes outside of your mission in order to obtain more money. And I know in the trading industry, we see this a lot. There are a lot of unethical salesmen out there that are creating these trading strategies, these $19 EMAs, and they're making the promise that if you buy my system for $20, it will change your trading life forever. You'll make 100% a year. You'll make millions, and you can go from, the poorhouse to a mansion in less than a year just by buying this system. And obviously, I've always been taught if it's too good to be true, it probably is. If something is going to have that much of an impact on my future, then why would this guy be selling it to me for $20? It would probably be a lot more if it really lived up to those type of claims. But you see people like that whose mission, they have a business of selling a product, and their mission is simply drive to get more money, more money, more money. And at some point during that journey, they've gone off track, and they've told themselves that, hey, I'm going to make money by any means necessary, even if it means taking advantage of newer traders that have a dream that they think is going to be fulfilled by my promises. So you never want to go, unless that's you and your nature, you're probably a bad person, but you never want to go off your path just to chase money. The second question is, does success mean a relationship, and how much time would that be as a component of my day every day? And Adam says, if love is one of the basic human needs that we all need to feel loved or appreciated, then what part of your successful life will include time for relationships? As an entrepreneur, you may think that making money and working on your business trumps everything else. And in some respects, when you're starting off, that's true. However, you need to be sure to get this part of your life in check after you're operating, or lose it to the wayside. And I know from personal experience how strained relationships can come when you're focused in on success. There's a gift and a curse to being an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. And the gift is that you have this ability to immerse yourself completely in whatever the task is. You have this ability to lock in every bit of energy that you have, every bit of focus that your brain has stored away onto a single task. And that single task is becoming successful. And in a way that's needed because, many of us aren't successful. So it only takes the super immersed that find that success. Unfortunately, when you're that immersed, when you're that focused on a single thing, you're blind to the other things around you, and you start putting a strain on relationships. When I first went on my trading journey, right, I was in a do or die situation. I quit my jobs. I was unemployed, and it was either I become successful at trading the financial markets, or I become broke or broker than I already was. And so during that period, I dedicated my entire life to the markets, to learning, to trying to get better. Now, at the same time, that meant not hanging out with friends. I had friends of mine that would go out to, party, go out to the bar, just go out to hang out on the weekends. And I would say, no, I'm too busy doing this. My nose is in the book. I'm too busy doing this. I strained the relationship with my girlfriend at the time, now wife, where, you want to spend time with your significant other. And I would invite her over to watch a movie or something. Lost used to be our thing. We used to watch the whole season of Lost together. And she would come over, and I would just be in the computer. I'd be in the computer in a book, and she'd be sitting there just waiting for me to be done. And I was so possessed with finding success that what I thought was 15 minutes, I'll be there in 15 more minutes, babe. What I thought was 15 minutes actually turned out to be hours and hours and hours. And that relationship got a little bit strained. So it's important that you find that balance. And yes, it's going to mean, again, success means immersing yourself in everything that needs to be done, but you can't be blind to what you're sacrificing on the back end. And you have to try as hard as possible to find the balance between the two. Now, the next question after that is, does success mean flexibility? And how much time would I want to work each day to be successful? Some people will leave behind the corporate world of flexibility and entrepreneurship, only to find they're working longer and harder than they've ever worked in their lives. Entrepreneurship is a challenging journey. This can be particularly true in the early years of getting your business off the ground, right? Financial freedom, freedom of time. That's why we become entrepreneurs. At least that's why I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I really love freedom of time, meaning the ability to do what I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want to. I really don't like being contained. I'm a little claustrophobic in general, but I don't like being contained by a work schedule. I don't like being told I have to work these hours. I don't like having a boss that says I have to do it this way. If I don't do this, I will be fired. If I do this, there's no guarantee of me making a raise. I like freedom, and that's a big part of why I want to become an entrepreneur. But many of us will think that this freedom of time comes right away. No. This freedom of time must be earned. And unfortunately, in the beginning, right? In the beginning stages of you growing your business, of you going on that entrepreneurial journey, it means working even more, even harder, even longer than you have before, right? If you're working 40-hour weeks at your job, right? Once you get started and you're building your business, you're going to work 70-hour weeks, right? And you have to be okay with that, because now it's just you. You're responsible for what you're building. And in order to get it started, right, you have to do all the legwork. So if you're thinking that, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur, it's going to be easy, I'm going to just be at home and work from a home office for a couple hours a day, then, hit the golf course later. That may come in the future once your business is established, once it's running all on its own. But at the beginning, when it's just you, guess who's doing all the work? You out there. So you have to remember that. Adam says, if you're looking for a part-time gig, well, entrepreneurship probably isn't for you. Now, again, it can get that way. Entrepreneurship, it should be an investment. You invest your time in the beginning, your energy in the beginning, you get that investment on the back end. Right now, again, I'm an investor. I have a real estate business. I have a trading business as well. Both of those businesses can run without me doing the day-to-day task. Now, I do have to do a little bit of a day-to-day task with trading, but what I mean is I'm not locked into, hey, I need to be here 5 hours a day or I don't get fed. I can easily work an hour or so, find trading opportunities, set my positions up, and go do whatever I want for the rest of the day while those opportunities play out. For my real estate business, yes, it takes a lot of work when we're doing a property search and we're going through the process of acquiring new properties. But once everything is settled, once the property is fixed up, once it's flipped, or once it's rented, right? Now that property is continuously making money while we're not doing those day-to-day tasks. So that freedom does develop, but it takes a lot of time. I do education as well. Now there is a time versus money element of the education business that I have, where I teach traders how to trade, but I don't do that as a need to. I do that because I like doing that. I really enjoy helping traders. That's kind of my mission, to really give back the bigger purpose. And if you guys have noticed, we purposely limit how many traders we work with because, well, we don't want to work any harder than we need to, right? We can easily hold, a couple hundred traders in our courses at the same time. But guess what that means for me? That means more hours checking email. That means more hours putting together workshops, more hours doing this, more hours doing that. And that's just not something I want to do. So we have the flexibility to really limit how many traders I work with at any given moment. That way I can work only as much as I want to work, I know it sounds horrible and selfish, but it's my business, right? It's supposed to be selfish, right? This is why I got into business, for flexibility. Now, and a good book about that, if you guys haven't read it, Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. This is a really good book where it breaks up into 4 quadrants of entrepreneur, self-employed, employee, self-employed on the right side. You've got, or on the left side, I guess, employee, self-employed on the left side. You've got business owner and investor on the other side. And it talks really good about how this is the side you want to be on, right? This side seems great, right? Well, maybe being an employee, it seems okay, right? Check, you have safety, right? All that good stuff. But you want to work from employee to self-employed. A lot of people will get to self-employed and they think this is it. This is where entrepreneurship is at, right? But what they realize in time is that when they're in this quadrant right here, right, they're just really working harder and not seeing any benefit. They're working harder, but they're not necessarily getting the investment until you come over to the business owner standpoint. When you get over to the business owner standpoint, that's when you have people working for you. And again, those day-to-day tasks are being handled without you needing to be there from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. And the same thing goes for an investor, right? You can make money while you sleep. We've all heard that before. Well, when you're an investor, you literally make money while you sleep. You set up an investment, your investment produces money for you while you're not actually there working. So great book. If you guys haven't read it, it's called Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Make sure before you read this, though, make sure you read his classic book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is kind of a follow-up on that. There's a lot of references to that book as well. So make sure you read that. Good book. I got a few other books over here that we're going to check out as well. But the last question the fourth question, I should say, probably should have been keeping count of these the entire time. But fourth question is, how healthy will I be as a successful person? And how much time does success allow me to devote to my health daily? And this is basically, don't burn yourself out. Don't push yourself to the brink where you die. And believe me, people will do that. They will become so stressed out. They will work themselves to death, literally. Many of you guys that are familiar with us at Trade Empowered, Darren Oglesby, the vice president of the company, right? He does a lot of the background stuff. And there was a point when we were doing a big launch that he was coming in 3 o'clock in the morning and working until 6 o'clock at night for weeks and weeks and weeks. And he literally got to the point where he was told to go home. He was told not to come in because he was working so hard that he was probably going to kill himself. You know, caffeined up, Red Bulls and coffee, and just, you know, right on that red line the entire time. You got to be aware of your health because think about it this way. If you die while you're building your business, right, you're never going to reap the benefits of it, right? You're never going to reap the benefits if you kill yourself trying to make it successful. So you have to be able to judge how hard is hard enough, but also give yourself time to recover. And for you traders out there, there's a book I recommend. I think it's volume 4. It's called The Winning Edge. There are 4 series of this. I only have 2 of them. But there are some really good war stories in this book about the downfalls of trading, about the stresses that it could bring on you, whether it's sitting in bad posture positions and getting back spasms and neck spasms. That's something that I suffer through. Whether it's the stresses of day trading, whether it's taking your trading stresses home with you. There's a guy in here, I believe, that lost his wife and kids because he would have rough days in the markets and he would come home, he would bring all of that stress with him home, and he would take every bit out of it on his wife and kids, and he ended up losing them. And just the kind of, you got to find like that balance. That's kind of the theme of the day. You got to find that balance in everything you do. The last question, I'll go ahead and check what you guys are saying over here on the live chat. And some of you guys are still asking trading related questions, which I appreciate. Appreciate I'm the one you come to for that. The last question is, what vision, give me a second. The last question is, what vision will I have achieved to be successful, and how do I define it now? And that goes back to kind of the beginning thing I talked about having a mission. What do you want to make out of your business? What is more important for money? For me is the giving back aspect. In both of my businesses, that is the main mission. In trading, I went from managing money to educating traders, because educating traders and helping people change their lives brings me a joy that making money for someone that's already rich and wealthy doesn't bring me. So I love working with newer traders, and whether they're in a training course or whether they're just popping by on YouTube to ask a question, whenever you see the light bulb go off, whenever you hear a story, hey, I just got hired by a prop firm, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It just brings me a joy because you've helped someone change their lives. And yes, they've done all the work, but you've kind of led them in the right direction. With my real estate business as well, one of the big things that we're on is providing properties, providing housing for low income families, right? We're trying to help people that are first time home buyers. We're trying to help people that maybe have bad credit scores or other type of red flags on their profile, help them get in a situation where they can rent a house for a year and then help them convert from being a renter to a home buyer. And it's always that giving back. Now, do we want to make a lot of money at the same time? Of course. I told you money is very important to me. I would be lying if I told you it wasn't about the money. It's always about the money. I like making money. Money makes me happy. But I would prefer to make money in a way that completes my goal, my vision, my mission, instead of just shamelessly making money and just padding my own pockets without giving back to anything else. So you need to ask yourself, what is that goal? What does success mean for you? How can I define that? If you're only about profit, then how? If you're only about profit, then the how of your bottom line won't be very important to your vision. However, if you have strong beliefs about the vision you want to create, think about that being incorporated in your success now. What is the bigger picture? And I know even us at Trade Empowered, many of you guys saw the video. We did a surprise a few years ago where we bought a lady. She was battling through cancer, and we did a workshop. Excuse me. We did a trading workshop, and all of the proceeds from that workshop went into buying that lady a car. She had got a new job, and she was riding her bike to work every day, like on dangerous highways and stuff. And I remember doing a Todd Brown got together. We did a workshop. He said, hey, I have this friend of mine. How can we help her out? Can we do this? And, that was at the beginning stages when I was working with Trade Empowered, and just seeing that mission, seeing that, hey, everyone's willing to come together and do something for that bigger purpose. That fits right into what I'm about. So that's pretty cool. So I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm going to turn to the live chat now, see if I can answer some of your questions. We'll hang out for a little bit. I apologize for not reading them during, but again, YouTube has a delay. So it's by the time I see you guys type it in, I'm typically on the next topic. So but let me see if I can scroll through some of these questions and see if there's anything that would be good. Hey, doing good. Great book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Can we hear about how you got into property? I got into real estate actually before I got into trading. I got into real estate as soon as I was out of college. I had a very aggressive business mentor who kind of forced me into it. I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't want to do it. But he forced me into the opportunity to get my feet in the door. And it's kind of like jumping off that cliff, right? He pushed me off the cliff, and I had to say, hey, I'm going to figure out a way to make it work before I hit the bottom. And that's how I got into real estate. So this was before I was in real estate. I was in the stock market as well, but the real estate was the first major investment that I made. I did it using student loan money. I told my live remembers this story the other day. I went to graduate school. I graduated college right around the recession, so there was no jobs out. So I went to graduate school just to buy some time so I can say, hey, I was sick of answering to aunts and uncles and grandparents about how come I'm unemployed. And what I did was I took out the maximum. I paid for my graduate courses with a credit card. And I took out the maximum amount I could for loan money during that period. And I took that loan money because student loans have a very low rate compared to what the rates were at the time. I took that loan money and I used that to make a down payment on my first house, which was a duplex. And I moved myself. I moved 3 of my roommates in there. So essentially, I was living rent free. I was living rent free in my unit, the first unit, the ground floor unit. And then I was making rent from the upstairs unit as well. So basically, I was living rent free and making a little bit each month on that property. So it was a pretty cool setup. Who is the author of the book, The Winning Edge? It is Adrienne, Laris, Toghraie. I'm not going to pronounce this right. Let's see if you can see it on here. Hopefully it is. You can see it. I'm going to butcher your names. How can you join Trading Power? If you just head over to tradingpower.com, there's tons of ways to trade. It all depends on what you're looking for, whether you want to be in a live trading room, our syndicate program, a training course. All the information for that is over on our website, tradingpower.com. What I'll do is I'll put underneath this video, I'll put the name of the book in there as well. Kevin says, I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Thank you. If structured trading works on any, you probably should, right? Probably should. I mean, you don't have to, but I would recommend it. Each market, each pair has a different philosophy or a psychology, I guess you can say, a different personality. So yeah, I would certainly recommend doing it. Nice, Tony. Yeah, pound odds had a nice move at the second level. Yeah. Can I know the time frame you like? I like all the time frames. My swing trading, I use daily, 4 hour and 60. Day trading, I use 60, 15, and 5. If you held a gun to my head and forced me to choose a time frame, I would say the range bar chart. I love the range bar charts. We had an example for you guys saw today, the Aussie dollar on a range bar chart. I love that for day trading. When did you feel like you were ready for trading? Confidence or results? Confidence over results. Results and back testing and actual results will bring confidence, but I really didn't see a big change in my trading until I started telling myself that I was a professional trader. I never really believed it. I was doing well, but I kind of was like, I'm not really good. I'm just getting lucky, because I had failed for so many years, guys. And it wasn't until I started telling myself, Akil, you are good, and having that confidence that it started relating to the markets as well. 600 pages, Tony, for the first book. Ooh, gosh. That deserves a full pizza with all the toppings and a 6-pack, right? How do you feel about tick charts? I like tick charts. Good for day trading. Yep. What'd you guys think of that article? Yeah, I didn't have time to read your things. Making money dependent on yeah. You guys are talking about training courses in here. You guys just love training. Just go to tradingpower.com, Moses. Tradingpower.com. There's usually a link below all the videos I do, or there's a link on this YouTube page. Tradingpower.com. Do people actually make money doing this or just teaching? That's a good question. That's the thing we always get. For some reason, many people believe that if you're a teacher, it means you can't actually trade. And that's not true at all. Most teachers are successful traders that are now teaching because of the reasons I told you about. Now, I'm sure there are some out there. There are some out there that maybe you're just selling systems or selling indicators that don't actually work. Again, those are the unethical type of people out there. So I'm sure that exists too. But I've always found it curious why people make that assumption. Maybe it's because the world doesn't believe in general. We see so much bad stuff on the news that the world doesn't believe in people actually doing nice things. But yeah, I would assume, again, I don't know every teacher. I would assume that most teachers are actually very good traders on their own. They may not be the best traders, right? Typically, the best traders make bad teachers because they're so good at it that they can't actually explain what they're doing. But I would say most teachers are good traders as well. Akil, do you think being aggressive is the only way to grow your account? No, I think the mindset that you should have is don't go broke. I think being aggressive is the quickest way to lose all your money. Conservation of capital is the #1 rule that professional traders follow. don't lose money. Don't put myself in a position to lose money. The mindset that a lot of rookie traders follow is, how can I make as much money as quick as possible? And we know what happens to most of rookie traders. They are super aggressive. They maybe have a good week or a good month, and then they eventually blow everything because they're trading too aggressively. So the opposite mindset. No one wants to talk about the article. Just explain simply, how is your class and course? I would like to join, so motivated. Our course is laid out in modules, so it's meant to be taken one step at a time, and each concept builds on the last. So what happens is, we just launched a new course earlier this year called the Ultimate Trader Transformation Course, and it's taught by myself. It's taught by Jason Greystone. It's taught by Jason Stapleton. It's taught by Charles Miles. So all the traders here at Trading Power, and we cover everything from the basics of structure analysis and reading a price chart, to trading psychology, to money management, back testing, creating a trading plan. Everything that we know and have experienced as traders, we put it into this course, and it's laid out in different modules in a way that each section builds on the last section. And of course, what we do is we surround that course with a lot of supportive material. So we give away 90 days in our syndicate program. We give away 90 days in our live trading room as well. We also give away a lifetime access to our private strategy lab, which is like a private tutoring session that we do each and every Monday, where we work on strategy development or different Q&A that traders may have. So it's a big course. It's meant to be taken over 90 days. Typically, if you rush, I would assume that you're probably not going to keep most of the information, and you'll probably go on to fail. If you take your time through it, however, I always like to say, spend 1 week on each section. If you spend 1 week on each section and take your time, your chances of being successful improve. But we always get the question, if I take your course, does that automatically make me a successful trader? No, it's all about what you do with the information and how much you use the support. That's what will determine your success or your failure. You. Good website to watch financial news, Forex Factory. If you're looking for news events, I like FinViz or Reuters, Bloomberg, if you're looking for like articles or whatnot. What do you think about the alligator and fractal combination on chart? I've never heard of an alligator, so you've got me on that. New to me. Where can one start if they want to manage other people's money? You can go out there and market yourself. Do it the old school way, or there are sites out there that allow you to do like trade follow services, or track your track record, something like that, and gain clients. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me again. Hope you guys enjoyed the article. A lot of the chat was based on different trading questions about training courses and stuff like that. That wasn't the intention of this blog post, but I'm glad you guys have questions and found a platform to get them answered. Do me a favor, if you like what you saw, just hit that like button on your way out. Share this on social media. I'm big on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, of course. Share it amongst your friends. And if the feedback is good, once again, we'll come back and do this another week. A lot of you guys are saying awesome. I'm still trying to reach 30,000 subscribers here on the YouTube page. So I'm trying to do that by the end of this month. So it's a big help whenever you guys subscribe if you're new, or share it if you've been here for a while. Who do you guys got between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid tonight? Last question I have for you. Isn't Ninja Trader a copy of some guys? No. There we go. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas appreciates the non-trading stuff. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, good luck with your 600 pages. Good luck with your getting through the course as well, I should say. Hey, thank you. With more money or with medium money, do you feel more comfortable? The more money you trade, and this is from someone that made the jump from trading a small, like a $10,000 account to managing over $250,000. The more money you trade, the harder it is. It's just a bigger weight on your shoulders. It's tough. You would think it's easier. It's not, because there's more at risk. Instead of risking $1 per pip, you may be risking $20 per pip. So you take 100 pip stop loss instead of just losing $100, you know, you may be losing a couple $1,000s, which is a little bit stressful. So I would say the more money you have, the harder it becomes. And again, that's why aggressive traders, you start with, you know, very, very small accounts and double it in a month and start putting more money in. They blow it all because they can't deal with the stresses of handling larger sums of money. Real Madrid. Real Madrid. I don't support. I'm an Everton supporter. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. We're doing well this year. Don't laugh. We'll be in European League play next year. Don't laugh. I'm an Everton supporter though. And follow the MLS. Akil, what do you recommend? Begin with money wise. No more money than what you're willing to lose. So if you're willing to lose $10,000, I would start with a maximum of $10,000. Never risk more than what you're willing to lose. What is the luck factor in trading? It's more skill than luck, but there are going to be times where, you know, there are going to be times where price action maybe hits your stop loss, but it doesn't get filled because price action spikes through so quick and it rolls down, and like, whoo, there is luck factors like that. There's unlucky factors like that as well, where you get stopped out by the spread on a quick news reaction. So that stuff exists, but in those are very small part of the bigger sample. In the bigger picture, definitely skill over luck. But there are some, you know, I think we've all been lucky once or twice as a trader, where we see something like, oh man, I'm stopped out. You look at your P&L and it's still on. You're like, what? Oh, really? Really quick, I'll leave you guys with this last story. Great trader friend of mine, Darren Butt over in the UK, right? This was his story before he got educated. He was a trader, struggling trader like everyone else. And he was at work. He was at work and he put on a trade, and the trade was losing. So he's sitting there at work all day and he's checking it. Ah, man, checking the laptop. Oh man, losing money. And he's had enough. He's frustrated, right? He's frustrated. There's you know, he assumes the trade is going to be a loser. He hops on the train home, whatever like that, and he's walking home. Trading stinks and blah 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 blah. And he gets out and he keeps getting this phone call, and it's his broker. And his broker is like, hey Daz, like you got to get out. You got to get out. And it's like, he's like, what are you talking about? What happened? Like, he's like, the trade you had earlier, whatever it was, he said, it's up like, I think it was up like 10,000 pounds or something ridiculous. Something like he made like 10,000 pounds on it. He's like, I would do it, but I'm not authorized to exit the trade on your behalf. You gotta get out of it right now. So he's like, he checks his thing. He's like, what? Like, how did that happen? It was like, I guess he assumed he was stopped out when he left. And he's home, and like, you know, big family man, wife and kid are there to meet him at the door. And he's like running through the door, like pushing him out the way, out my way, pushing his kids, pushing his wife down, running to his computer to exit the trade to make his money. And I think he made like 10,000 pounds on the trade. And it was lucky. It was lucky because he thought he was stopped out, but I guess his stop wasn't triggered. And fortunately for that guy, what he did was, he said the biggest thing he did, the biggest decision he made was, instead of letting it get to his ego and thinking that, oh yeah, I'm the best. See, I told you I can do this. He admitted that, hey, I got lucky, and he took those winnings and invested it in some trading education. That way he didn't have to worry about getting lucky in the future. He could actually build his skill of becoming an independent, consistently profitable trader. This is a big dude, ex-military. So I'm picturing him like just like mugging his kids and pushing, like stiff arming his wife, and like he's trying to get to the computer just to push the sell button so he doesn't lose all this money. It's an awesome story. But better that he recognized that he did get lucky and that he can't rely on that. He's got to do something for that in the future. So awesome. What's your opinion on robotic trading? I'm not a fan of robotic trading. I'd rather live and die by my own decisions personally. So anyway, I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you guys. If we do this next Tuesday, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. If not, I'll be doing another trading blog this week. I got a pretty good topic about prop firms if I end up getting to it, but I appreciate you joining me. Until then, play on your trade your plan. Take care.